Bob's Burgers has reached a new milestone with the recent release of the 300th episode. As of September of 2025, we have officially hit season 16 of the show, and we open with an episode that I'll be talking about today, which is titled Grand Pre Opening, which I think is a very cute nod to the intro of the show, where we constantly see that disaster strikes the restaurant, which continuously makes them have to reopen. I haven't felt this inclined to talk about a specific episode of Bob's Burgers since I watched that episode, The Amazing Rudy. I usually break down multiple episodes in one video, but I wanted to give this one some special care and attention because it just really warmed my heart when I first saw it. And I was watching 𝙬𝙪𝙗𝙪𝙧's video on this, hey girl, and she mentioned that there was an art book that was released with the episode, and I immediately had to go cop that. And when I opened the pages up, I was just so emotional because we have really been on this journey with Bob's Burgers for so many years. In my Amazing Rudy video, I mentioned my introduction to the show being in a very transitional point of my childhood and how this show has stuck with me through every single phase in my life since. So it means so much to me to see the deep dive into the origins and the love and the care and the details that go into creating this show. Like, this is really family. So with the context of the episode that I'll get into, don't worry, it just felt like a full circle moment, and it's really something that I feel like us longtime fans can really appreciate from the show. What's good, guys? It's Alissa. If you're new here, hello. First things first, y'all know I gotta get the formalities out of the way. You can follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky. All that information is in my description box down below. I also have a second channel where I post more lifestyle content here and there. I also have a Sims channel that I post on frequently. And of course, I always want to thank my patrons over on Patreon for the continued support. Your monthly contribution is always appreciated over here. But without further ado, let's get into it. The episode starts with Bob struggling to raise the prices on the menu by $1, which is a decision that he said he made while drunk on some wine.
Come on, Bob. I thought you were finally okay with this. You said yes last night.
Well, I was drinking wine then. I was wine brave. I also said we should start stretching, but I didn't mean it.
I always appreciate when Bob's Burgers just randomly lines up with current day, because not even Bob's Burgers was immune from inflation. That's how you know it's tough right now. Bob is nervous, but Linda thinks that this is a good idea because it will be how they'll be able to pay their bills and maybe stay in business. And honestly, they probably need more money to afford those phone upgrades that they got. But Bob avoids this change almost all day, procrastinating by chopping onions until this all goes away.
How's it going up here? Prices still the amount where we're poor?
Yes, for the moment. He said, I'm gonna chop onions till all this goes away.
Smart.
Throughout the show, Bob has always seemed to have crippling anxiety. He speaks a lot of fear into his dreams often, and when given opportunities to grow or expand his business, his first mind is always to say no.
I'm going to show you who's been murdering your business. Behold.
Oh, I get it. Like it's me because I said I didn't want to expand.
Well, if the boo fits.
This is in contrast to Linda, though, who usually says yes immediately and has more of a what's the worst that can happen outlook. They're very much a glass half full, glass half empty type dynamic. Bob is justified in his fears, though, and I'm sure it's very scary, especially with his dream being to open a restaurant. And with the statistics of restaurant failure being 50% of them closing within the first 5 years, I'm sure he's not the type of person to think that he's the lucky 50% that will remain in business in 5 years.
Let's talk about your restaurant.
I'm not sure why it's in quotations.
Does it have to be a restaurant?
I'm
I'm just saying, because of how often they fail. They fail a lot. This is one of my vacant spaces. It used to be a burger restaurant.
Mr. Fishoder, this is still a burger restaurant.
Yeah, let us die slowly in peace, you vulture.
Let's come back in a week. It should be empty by then.
Sure, he has a great reference to a success story with his father, Big Bob, having a long-running diner, but he doesn't apply this to his own life. I don't know much about business personally. The most experience I have with running a business is marking up my Sims 4 selling table from 50% to 100%. But even in that thought process, I wouldn't think, oh, raising the prices of my Sims jewelry on their market stall would shy the customers away. Like, no, the customers that see value in your product will come and buy. I love that the writers thought that it was important for us to get context on where Bob's Burgers all started to get us to this point. So we're taken back to pre-Bob's Burgers, where Linda discovers discovers an empty space for lease while walking from the Wonder Wharf after work.
I found it!
Found what?
Where your restaurant's gonna be. Let's go look at the space tomorrow, okay?
Bob comes home tired, complaining about not wanting to be a line cook anymore, and Linda herself is not fulfilled in her job as a receptionist. It feels like this is the perfect time for Bob to follow his restaurant dream. Linda's main drive for Bob to follow his dreams is to help build something, and more so to help build something that makes people happy.
So tired. I don't want to be a line cook anymore. I can't make any more surf and turf. I don't want to make food for people ever again.
I hate that office, Bob. I smile at everyone and no one smiles back and they just want to talk about insurance.
I mean, it's an insurance company.
You know what my dream is? I want to help build something. Something that makes people happy. Something that makes the world better in some little way. You're gonna make great food, Bob. You're gonna make people happy. And I want in.
So I can see why Linda is more determined to build something from scratch with the foundation of bringing people happiness. And as someone who has worked in insurance before doing YouTube, I completely understood Linda's plight.
It's just like my life. In a way.
When I used to work in insurance, I felt like I was always determined to help as many customers as I could over the phone, and I would always bring work with me when I clocked out, so I didn't know how to separate my work life from my personal life, especially because I worked from home as well. It was just extremely unfulfilling and it consumed so much of my time, and the whole time I just knew that my heart wasn't in it and I wanted more from my own life. So I remember one day mid-shift, I literally had this pit in my stomach. Like, I did not want to clock back in. So I called my big sister and I was like, I want to do YouTube and I don't want to do this anymore. And all she had to do was say, yeah, do it. I clocked out, never clocked back in, and quit that job, and here we are talking about cartoons 50,000 beautiful subscribers later, and an amazing journey that I literally wouldn't change for anything. So after Bob and Linda had the restaurant conversation, they promised to go see the location the next day.
Crap.
You hate it?
No, I love it.
I knew it. I'm smart.
My stomach's feeling weird.
That's how you know it's right.
They go and meet with Mr. Fisholder for the first time to inquire about this space for lease, and even though Bob doesn't meet the requirements to lease this space, Mr. Fisholder is sentimental because, as we know, something about Bob reminds him of his dad.
I enjoy you, Bob. Your mustache. It's fascinating.
Thank you.
Do you mind if I...
You're touching it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's really something.
thank you.
Thank you.
My father briefly sported a mustache like yours, and it had a similar smell.
You can smell my mustache?
I seem to be downwind of it, yes.
So he agrees to lease this space to Bob as long as he lines up his financing. And I feel like this would be a great first episode to watch. Like, if you've never seen Bob's Burgers, I would suggest somebody start with this episode, because as a longtime viewer, we know the beef between the Belchers and Mr. Dowling.
This is an impressive savings account here. And then here's yours. See the difference?
Yes.
Good planning, careful saving, no apparent plan, small, random deposits.
I would like to make a deposit, please.
Oh, Bob, has it gotten this bad?
What? What do you mean? Are you having your security guard stand over me?
No. Shh.
I did write him that check.
You did?
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't a terrible mistake you made by accident?
No.
Or a lapse in judgment?
Nope.
Serious head injury?
No.
They obviously do not qualify for that business loan, which is not surprising. And this is also where we meet Mr. Dowling, who at this time is a trainee, who later becomes their usual banker in the future.
I definitely wouldn't give you a loan. Denied.
Oh, he's mean.
Mr. Dowling, I get to say denied. Denied.
Yep.
And just like now, he's eager to deny them a loan and is not a fan of Bob and Linda's financial history and habits. Linda is determined to get this loan though, and to open up this restaurant, and she is not taking no for an answer. And if we know anything about Linda and her dreams, she's gonna do anything to make those things a reality.
I think my dream was trying to tell me something. I think we're supposed to spread cheer and save Christmas. So we should throw the party from my dream at the restaurant.
So she offered up the money that she's been saving since she was 15 for a condo to use for this business loan to open up the restaurant. Bob is completely against this idea and wants her to continue to follow her dreams, because just like she's invested in his dreams, he's also invested in hers.
No. You've been working in savings since you were 15. You were going to put it into owning a condo, which is a great idea. I hope you let me live there.
I mean, we are married, so you're high on the list.
Linda, we we've talked about this. We can't use your money to open the restaurant. I couldn't handle it if it didn't work out. It'd be like asking you to put up one of your kidneys as collateral.
He has a fear that if she puts all her life savings into this restaurant and it fails, it would be all his fault, which is a fear that is consistent throughout this episode and throughout the series. But Linda tells him that she can do whatever the hell she wants with her money and to just view her as an investor. Bob still isn't convinced to move forward, but after the days pass by and they're on this cycle of their mundane life, Linda can't get the thought out of her mind about this restaurant. She takes a visit to the condo and takes one last look at it and then decides to go and tell Bob that she does not care what he says, she is going to invest in this restaurant.
I know you don't want to use my money to start your own place because you're worried that you'll fail and you'll take me down with you. But you don't get to tell me what I do with my money, buddy. My parents don't get to either. So if you don't let us use this money to do that, I'm gonna kick your ass.
She'll do it. She's got the crazy eyes.
Linda is determined to build something that makes her happy, but part of this motivation may or may not be due to the fact that she's pregnant.
She said maybe I should take a pee test.
For drugs?
Obviously, the eyes.
No, a pregnancy test. And I did do the test. And I am pregnant.
What?
Right?
That's great. Wait, then we definitely shouldn't start the rest.
Shush, 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 shush.
Yeah, you definitely should.
Shush, 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 shush. This baby is part of my dream too.
The way I screamed at this part, like I thought this episode was just gonna be about the restaurant origins, but I was like, oh, we're getting Tina origins too? Like, good food. And then my freaking brain, I couldn't help but overthink the fact that they conceived Tina on this mattress on the floor of this studio apartment. Like, okay, Bob, you were afraid of being broke and not following your dreams, but you weren't scared enough to wrap it up and avoid having a baby in these living conditions. Some time has passed, and that is apparent because Linda's stomach has grown significantly. They moved forward with the lease, furnishing the house and the restaurant that we later know to be,
Without further ado, Cow Chow?
Nah.
Blessed are the meat? Wait, you like that one?
Bob's Burgers.
Oh, no.
We should
no.
call it Bob's Burgers.
No.
Bob is hesitant about naming the restaurant after himself because he doesn't want people to think that this was all his doing. He wants people to know that this is a collective effort from him and Linda.
People are gonna know you couldn't do this without me. It's gonna be obvious. I mean, look at you.
Hey, you're best.
Bob's mind is so interesting to me because from the outside, Linda seems to be the eccentric one with Bob being the more reserved one. But as we know, Bob is a creative. So it's fascinating to me that the names that he was thinking of for the restaurant were all these like punny names, very similar to how he names the burger of the days, where Linda's mind went straight to exactly what the restaurant is, Bob's Burgers.
So what kind of food are you gonna make?
What?
Burgers?
Ha! No way! What are the odds?
It really makes you think about genetics and what parts of Bob and Linda's personality actually goes to their children, both like covertly and outwardly. After all, Linda was right. He couldn't do this without her. It's Linda's money that's getting put into the restaurant to get it open. It's Linda who names the restaurant. And it's Linda who decides to work while pregnant because they couldn't afford an employee to help Bob out.
We have to hire someone. You're gonna be too pregnant to work.
We can't afford to hire anyone. I can work for a few weeks until the baby comes. I'm cheap and easy.
And I know they were happy as hell to have more kids because those kids went straight to that kitchen and got to work. It's also in this scene that we see firsthand just how hung up Teddy was when he first knew the Belchers. As we know, Teddy started doing handiwork for them when he was freshly divorced from his horribly abusive wife, Denise.
Didn't she say the back of your head looks like a butt?
Yes, and that's why I wear a hat.
And didn't she make you go to the bathroom in the yard?
I was not doing a great job with, and I started to enjoy it.
And didn't she cheat on you, like, a lot?
Yes, but I was working 7 to 8 hours a day, 5 days a week sometimes. Of course she cheated on me all over the place. I left her no choice, Bobby.
Uh-huh.
Sure, no, yeah.
In my opinion, this makes complete sense as to why Teddy is so attached to Bob and their family. They came into his life at a very transitional time and fed him a great burger, which had such lasting effects that he decided to stay.
Had to have one more burger in here, you know? Probably won't see me much more after this, though. No offense. I'm more of a burrito guy.
Bob seems to have this effect on people with his cooking, not only with Teddy, but also Mr. Fish Shoulder and even the Speedo guy.
This is great. Yeah. Oh, it's complicated. It's mystical. It's barbaric.
Thank you.
Mr. Fisholder, I wanted to.
I'm talking, Jimmy.
I want to.
I'm talking.
You need change, hon?
Keep it. Best burger of my life. I feel like a different person.
Teddy is literally the person building the foundation of what we know to be Bob's Burgers today, and I love that Bob recognizes how much of a team effort it takes to do this, which, as he said himself, he could not do on his own. Seeing that Teddy was the one to actually paint the Bob's Burgers sign outside of the restaurant just touched my heart so much. Like, this is really family. But with Teddy still being hung up about Denise, he's not really focused on the quality of his handiwork, which isn't a shock, honestly, because his main draw for his clientele is that he's reliable, but he's cheap.
Maybe we shouldn't have hired someone who's going through a terrible divorce.
He was so cheap. Plus, how are we supposed to know?
Well, I mean, when we met him, he said, "Hi, I'm going through a terrible divorce."
Yeah.
Is he still crying?
Uh-huh.
Should he be closing his eyes like that while he hammers? Ow!
And he usually does an okay job with a sprinkle of a good job here and there. He even comes back to the restaurant to see if the counters that he built were still holding up.
I just wanted to see the boots in action, see how the counter's holding up. I'm not saying I was concerned the counter wasn't gonna hold up. I'm not suggesting that at all.
Okay.
Y'all, he even burnt down a gazebo before.
Well, I just found out that there was some kind of short and it burned down.
Aw.
Luckily, everybody's okay, but I really don't know how it happened. All I know is that it was my fault. It was all my fault. It was all my fault.
Okay, just take it easy, Teddy.
Bob, let him cry. He's upset.
I know, it's just like we're wasting napkins.
And I feel like that's the main draw of Bob's Burgers for me personally, is that they're not only following the story of the Belchers, but it's such an extensive community of people that come into the restaurant that has such a lasting effect on everyone, and how a lot of people have each other's backs within this community. So seeing all the little Easter eggs of how things came into fruition was literally like watching that On Your Left scene from Avengers Endgame. Like, I was eating it up. From first seeing Mort without his freaking toupee, and then the introduction of Mort's toupee. Literally one of the funniest jokes from this episode was Teddy comparing Mort flipping his toupee around in a restaurant to Mr. Potato Head. Like, Teddy has a way of being dead serious, but also being shady at the same time that is so hilarious to me.
I think it's gonna work.
Not a chance.
I'm feeling good about it. Wait a second. You know what? It's backwards.
Oh.
Huh?
Ah, jeez, just flapping stuff around like a Mr. Potato Head? Who's Burger Bob?
Me. It's my online handle.
So just went with the first idea, huh?
And as much as everyone is trying to ignore this horrid headpiece, Teddy seems to be the only one really offended, because he's breaking the bald guy code because he should just wear a hat. He's literally hell-bent on preaching the hat fishing gospel.
Is that the mortician? Yep. Oh, no. We don't do that anymore. Bald guys just wear hats now. You don't need to feed this and put it in a cage at night like that thing.
Wow, you baldies are a bunch of mean girls.
But Mort seems to be doing just fine with his mob.
Hey, is that Mort?
Holy crap, it worked. By the grace of God, he made it work.
Jimmy Pesto's restaurant isn't even across the street yet. Linda brings in the chalkboard for the burger of the days and the famous flying burgers picture that sits behind the counter. Edith and Harold from the art store Reflections down the way comes to the grand opening. And then we actually see the scene of what I think is when Bob gave Teddy the key that he never gave back.
Bob and Linda didn't tell me they were taking a trip. Wow, okay, so we're not telling each other things anymore? Yeah, I don't want the key to your apartment, since we're not close enough for you to tell me that you're going on a vacation. We took a last-minute trip, but we made you a burger, and we put it in the fridge in our apartment. Use the key we gave you that one time that you never gave back to let yourself in. Oh my God, the key! No!
Teddy, would you mind locking up?
Okay.
The keys to the restaurant are in my pants, which are in the sink, because that's where I keep them.
And I honestly feel like they left Teddy with the key, because in this whole process, they're thinking so fast. They've literally been seeing Teddy the most. He literally built this restaurant from scratch. So first things first, let me give the key to someone that I trust the most to lock up the store. That's my assumption. The closer and closer that they got to opening day, and the closer and closer they get to Tina's birth, Bob is feeling more anxious and more nauseous.
My stomach's feeling weird.
That's how you know it's right.
My stomach feels weird too, but maybe that's just because I'm not cut out to be a trial lawyer.
Okay, Bob's Burgers it is.
I don't feel so good. Oh, I feel nauseous.
Recent fear.
Oh my God. And Teddy didn't fix the toilet.
Bob is not doing good at all and hasn't made a single burger.
Why do you keep throwing up? Are you pregnant?
I don't know. Maybe?
Bob, you gotta pull it together. Customers get very judgy when they hear the chef barfing in the kitchen.
Well, that doesn't seem fair.
We also see that the first burger of the day in the restaurant was the Grand Opapianing burger. Bob comes back better than ever, proud of the 2 burgers that he made, but it's not nearly enough for the full restaurant of customers that he still has left to serve, and at the sight of this, he just starts throwing up again. And the timing couldn't possibly be worse because Linda goes into labor in the middle of taking orders.
And what can I get? Yeah! Oh, wow. Okay. That was a lot of liquid in my pants. Sorry, I think my water just broke. My water just broke.
What?
I'm having my own grand opening, and it's a little early.
What?
And contractions are happening very much.
Oh my God!
With a packed restaurant and 2 out of commission employees, they decide to comp everybody's food and just head to the hospital. I find it funny that with the restaurant being at full capacity, which is one of the rare times that it is, they still didn't get to make a single dollar on opening day. Like, they probably lost more money than they earned, especially giving out nothing but free fries all day. And I also have a hunch that Linda went into early labor because she's been working nonstop with Bob in this restaurant, which would usually be a cause for worry, but just like everything in the Belchers' lives, they work through it. It all works out in its own Belcher way. I also love that it's canon that Tina is born on the day that the restaurant officially opened up.
I didn't know you get pudding after.
Lynn, that was incredible. I'm so glad I never have to do that.
Oh yeah, I've heard you in the bathroom. Sometimes you barely get through that.
In the present day, Bob is still fighting this internal battle of raising the prices in the restaurant. Linda reassures him again that people are going to buy his food no matter what, just like she told him when she decided to invest her own money in the restaurant. She reminds him of what he said when Tina was born.
I feel good. I thought I'd be more scared when she got here, but actually I feel less somehow. I don't have to be in my head anymore. I just have to be what she needs. And she needs me to be not scared, so I won't be. Oh yeah, I said a smart thing.
You did?
During Linda's labor, Bob was worried that he was never going to stop throwing up and that he was still consumed by the thought of failing and taking everyone down with him. But after Tina was born, everything just clicked. I think this also may be the start of when Bob holds in his anxiety as best as he can and just makes those strange noises instead, because as we saw, his anxiety is so bad that it makes him throw up, and I don't think that we've seen him do that before in my recollection. And I think that he genuinely figured out how to suppress his anxiety, but he still flips from time to time and it spirals about his fears.
I asked Jean to get the black garlic from the kitchen, the single most important ingredient in my recipe, and we're looking at an empty cooler!
Okay, don't freak out. Hi everyone.
He doesn't notice this, but the kids definitely do. Just like they notice how he's very similar to Big Bob and he doesn't think that he is in any way.
Sometimes Pop can be a little dark about life and kind of negative.
You mean like you?
What?
Yeah, Mr. Everything's bad all the time.
I'm tired. I'm worried. My back hurts. I'm Bob.
Whoa, that's pretty good.
Thank you.
And even though he thinks that he's doing a better job at not speaking fear into situations, he definitely speaks fear in a lot of situations.
You think we don't know about all that stuff? Your failure fears?
We know about the secret failure dungeon in your butt.
Wait, you do?
I mean, yeah, you drop the F-bomb sometimes. A lot, all the time.
Oh.
But it's a pretty cool message for, you know, young minds heading out into the world.
In the end, Bob finally works up the courage to update the prices by $1. And he doesn't throw up and the world doesn't explode, which is actually something that I tell myself all the time when I make a decision that I'm wavering on, because the trick is to do things even when you're scared, even when you can't see the big picture yet. Gene was under the impression that they were going to be doing a menu revamp, and he has a few suggestions on what they could add.
I'm still not seeing shrimp tempura up there. Anyone else concerned about that?
While Louise is impressed that he actually did it. And Tina, being very similar to Bob in my opinion, is very anxious about this change.
Tina, shush.
I'm just saying it's a big change. Maybe we should all process it more.
Tina, you're grounded.
Sorry.
Not really, but shush.
There's a subplot in the episode where the kids are trying to make a Grammy award-winning album about 2 generations of a family who were destroyed by a burger restaurant. Very subtle.
Wanted to open up the restaurant that ruined all our lives.
I guess they wanted that life.
Oh, yeah.
Bob. Don't listen to them.
While the kids are all nervous to upload this music, Tina is the only one who's outwardly anxious, saying that no one will think that it's good and that this was just all a mistake. Eldest daughters being just like their fathers. I'm not an eldest daughter. I don't know why I said that. I just wanted to say that. In a video I did talking about Bob's relationship with his father, Big Bob, when Bob was a kid, Bob felt like he was trapped in his dad's restaurant and he couldn't do anything else but work.
Fetch, Mr. Doglovich.
Get back to work, Bob.
Die!
Get back to work, Bob.
The kids feel very similar to this, voicing that they'll have stories to tell their kids about how miserable they were before they clawed their way out of this restaurant. And for the end credits, we get a montage of the kids growing up in the restaurant one by one until we get to where we are now. And I love how they just easily depicted each of their personalities in such a short amount of time without even saying any words. Of course, they could have did an episode like this at the 100th episode or like the 200th episode, but I feel like sitting here at season 16, this is the perfect spot to take us back to the very beginning, to the origins of Bob's Burgers as a restaurant. We get to see the first time that they decide to do a grand reopening of the restaurant at the hospital.
So, when should we open up again?
Oh,
We should do another grand opening, right? With less fluids flying around.
Could try it that way.
Little did they know this was going to be one of many. And even though Bob's Burgers feels like a doomed restaurant from the moment it opened to present day, I have no doubt that they'll continue to stay afloat enough to pay their rent slightly after the first. As long as Bob remains a dreamer and Linda continues to be a doer, we will get 16 more seasons and celebrate our 600th episode, and I personally will be sad.
I guess a small part of me thought we'd work at the restaurant during the day and be nightclub people at night. And I'd get a white jacket and maybe a trumpet.
Me too, I guess. We'd die young, but it'd be fun.
It's too late for us to die young, but I know what you mean.
But what did you guys think of this episode? I feel like the further and further we're getting into the show, we're getting a lot of moments where we're getting backstory on characters and plots. What characters would you guys like to see an origin episode on? Me personally, I need to see what Jimmy Pesto's life was, since we see that his restaurant wasn't even a thing at the time of Bob's Burgers fruition. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you would like to keep up with me outside of YouTube, you can follow me on TikTok or Instagram. All that information is in the description box down below. And if you made it to the end, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and be sure to hit the notification bell to stay up to date with posts and uploads from me. But for now, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. This era in my life has been so weird. I feel like my brain or my soul is way far ahead than where I am in life. I'm getting ready to record a YouTube video, but I've just been feeling like there's a lot of things that I've wanted to accomplish, and I've been letting fear get in the way of certain decisions that I make. And I feel like when I was younger, I was more able to put fear aside and actually just do things, and there was a thrill in seeing where the results would take me. And one thing that I've definitely learned is that everything that I've put my mind to, that I know my spirit aligns with, it works out. And so I've been frustrated as to why I've been letting fear guide my decision making. For instance, I have been wanting to move, and as of right now, I am in no position to move. Like, my content is just now getting its footing, and I kept telling myself, like, you know what, wait until you have a specific amount of money that you're making a month before you even take those steps, just so that you're secure. And I know that it's like irresponsible to make moves when you're not in the position to, but like, I feel like that's how I've made every single move in my life. And sometimes you don't need to wait. So I apply for this place, and a lot of places right now are asking for like 3 times rent. And I'm like, I don't have that. Like, I legitimately do not have that. But I found this place that was in an area that I've always wanted to live in, that was only asking for 2 times rent. Mind you, after I went through the whole application process, I still didn't even qualify for 2 times rent, and they still accepted me. And I was just like, certain things like that happen in life, I'm like, what are the odds that even in a situation where I know that it's not perfectly aligned for my circumstances at this time, I still go for it because I feel like it just resonated with me. And as I was reading through the requirements, I was just like, this is literally mine. Like, I was literally like, this is literally mine. I can feel it. And even though I had my reservations and I was afraid, I still felt like it was for me, and it did end up being for me. I really am just trying to get back to how I was when I was younger and didn't let life's hurdles guide or start seeding fear into my subconscious about the decisions that I make, because I'm like, well, how were you doing things in the past? In a crunch, you were able to make things work. So why are you allowing yourself to be comfortable and wait for things to be exactly perfect in life when things are never perfect in life, to make a decision that you know will put you in a better space? And really what I constantly have to tell myself is to make decisions for my future self and not for the version of me right now. Because I feel like in a lot of times when we make decisions, we think about how this would benefit us right now in the moment, and we don't make decisions for the person that we want to be or that we see for ourselves. And so I constantly have to tell myself that it's bigger than me right now. And so the decisions that I make have to be obscure, because the future version of me would make that decision, if that makes sense, and not the me right now. And so if I act as if I am already in that position, then I will just be in that position later, if that makes sense.